Love is no one in a million. It goes on and on and on. You give all.
Hey there, beautiful people. Welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Lincy P here, and today I'm starting a brand new series here on my channel called Wind Down Wednesdays. Pretty much, I just wanted to try something a little bit different where we'd be able to get together once a month and just kind of talk about some topics. So we're gonna see how this goes, but make sure you get your wine. Cheers. Okay, so today's wine, I am drinking the Stella Rosa. This is the blueberry one. This is one of my favorites, so that's what we're gonna be drinking today, sis. So yeah, grab you a glass, get you some wine or coffee or tea if you don't drink wine, and let's get into this week's topic. I'm just gonna be talking about how you can always look put together. I get stopped all the time pretty much asking me like, Lindsay, how come you always look so put together? Or, you know, you're the friend that people are just like, girl, where are you going? And I think it's really important to present your best self at all times. So I just want to give you guys a couple of tips of what has worked for me in being able to kind of execute always looking put together. Backstory here, my parents are from the Caribbean. My mother and father are both Haitian, and they made it a big deal, like a really big deal, how we represented them when we left the house. So that's kind of where it started for me. My dad basically told me like, listen, when you leave this house, you carry my last name with you everywhere you go, so you need to be looking appropriate everywhere you go. Like, it was intense, guys. They didn't even let me do like pajama day at school, none of that. Pajamas are for the bed. You wear your appropriate clothes to school. So that was really kind of where that was instilled in me, to have the desire to always be put together. But that's kind of where my path began. So just a couple of tips. Tip number one is that it all starts from within, guys. Listen, I know that might sound corny, but it is the truth. You have to be put together internally first and foremost before you can present externally to the world. Period. You have to take inventory of your mindset. By that I mean, do you value yourself enough to put in the extra time and routines in place that you kind of need to put in to look put together all the time? That's what shines through, right? Like, what you think of yourself is going to shine through more naturally than what bag you're wearing or what shoes you have on or your cute outfit. You have to care enough about yourself to take the extra time that's needed to really show up in the world the way that you want to show up. I think that people who look put together all the time have to have some internal confidence, have to have some internal peace where they feel like, I am worth all these extra things that I am doing so that I show up on the outside just as awesome as I am on the inside. So first, take inventory of that. How are you doing mentally? How are you doing spiritually? And then physically, how are you treating your body? That is first and foremost. Or do you value yourself to where you just like, it doesn't matter, like I'm just gonna throw anything on and walk out the door? I feel different when I roll out of bed and throw on an old high school t-shirt, don't do my hair, don't put on any makeup. It sets the tone for my day. I can guarantee you I have a less productive day. I don't feel as confident. I'm not like conquering the day when I just throw something together. It's a reflection of how I'm feeling at the moment. And if I'm not presenting myself in the best way that I know I can, I genuinely feel uncomfortable. Like, it makes me feel uncomfortable. So if you are comfortable just throwing stuff together, do a little bit of an internal check point and just see how you're doing in all of those places. Following suit, like I said, how is your spiritual health doing? I'm a firm believer that your spiritual health informs your mental health. I believe that I was made in the image of God, that I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. So that also informs why I feel uncomfortable if I just throw stuff together. I started taking my personal relationship with God a little bit more seriously. I definitely started showing up different in the world. I definitely started taking more care of myself. I I started taking better care of my body because it's the only vessel that we have. You only get one. And so I started taking more inventory in terms of what I ate, making sure I'm working out. I'm not always consistent. I'm not perfect, guys, but I do keep that in the mental forefront all the time. You know, I've started therapy, which has helped me feel confident and, you know, how I'm showing up in the world. I'm really just putting in the internal work is what I'm saying. External is great, and we're gonna get to that, but I would not be doing this video justice if I didn't talk about the internal work that is needed first and foremost before we get to, you know, dressing up the external. So let's get into the actual, you know, how you look when people see you. So tip number 2 is to plan in advance, guys. This is gonna save you so much time, so much stress, and just really cut down on you missing details and stuff like that. So I plan my outfits in advance. If I know I have like brunch with the girls coming up, or I have a dinner or something that I'm going to, I plan my outfits in advance. I generally pick out a couple different looks because I don't know how I'm going to be feeling that day, but I pick out different looks that give a little bit of a different vibe appropriate for the occasion, and I just put the outfits together and I put them in the front of my closet so that when that occasion comes, I'm not scrambling to put something together. I know in advance most time what's on my schedule, and so I take the time to plan in advance. If you think about celebrities, they don't just show up to the Met Gala and just pull a Vera Wang dress out of their closet the morning of. Like, it's intentional, it's thoughtful, they're really taking the time, they're working with stylists, putting things together weeks, sometimes months in advance. You should be doing the same thing in your personal life. You know you got something going on. Once you put it on that schedule, about a couple of days out, a week out, starts to take inventory of your closet, because there might be pieces you need to get if you're going to a certain look, so that you look as polished as possible and so that you minimize stress the day of this event. In my day-to-day life, I practice this more on a minimal scale. I come home, I kind of, you know, take off my clothes for the day, my work clothes, get it changed into like pajamas or just lounge clothes, but immediately I lay out my clothes for the next day. So I take off my clothes for the work day, I change, and then I put my clothes for the work day out again. Because similar thing, I don't want to be scrambling, running around with like a chicken with my head cut off in the morning. I just want to be able to pick the outfit, get dressed, and go. So plan your outfits in advance as much as you can in your day-to-day life, whether that's the night before, and if you're, you know, dressing for a special event, take a couple of days. Tip number 3 is to find your color palette. So a couple of months ago, there's a video, I'll have it linked down in the description box, but I cleared out my closet and reorganized my closet. This is important because I was trying to reestablish kind of, you know, my ground zero, I guess, to get where I am now. Now, it doesn't really take me much time to put together an outfit because my closet is color coordinated for the most part. And most of my closet is neutrals. A few pops of color, you know, in my closet here and there, but for the bulk of my closet, it's mostly neutrals. And that makes it really easy to put looks together because I don't have to worry about matching crazy prints and fabrics and this and that. I just keep it simple. Now, it's nothing wrong with having crazy prints. I have some fun stuff, you know, in my closet, and I think you should, you know, you should have a versatile closet. Before, I used to just chase the trends, and so I would have all these trendy pieces and no basics to wear. And so I couldn't wear the trendy pieces because you do have to have a balanced outfit. If you have like a crazy funky blazer with like all these prints and colors and stuff on it, you need a black or white shirt or something to put under it. You need those basics, and so start with the basics first, and once you kind of get your bearings with that, then you can start adding some of the funner pieces back into your wardrobe. But pick your color palette and stick to that. Mine is neutrals. I know that that's what works for me. That's what I feel the most confident in. That's what makes me feel good. I feel like it matches my skin tone. But That's what works for me. Do what works for you. If you like more earth tone colors, I do like those too, like oranges, yellows, greens, things like that. Start with that. Just identify whatever color palette makes you feel the best. Build outfits around that color palette and keep it with things that kind of go together. Earth tones generally go together, so it's easy to put an outfit together if you have a lot of oranges, a lot of greens, a lot of reds, a lot of yellows, you know, a lot of tans, browns. Those colors complement each other well, so when you're putting together an outfit, you're not struggling. Versus if you have some earth tones, some pastels, some vibrant neon colors, it's like, where am I even supposed to start? You have no idea. So take it back a notch, go back to the drawing board, take the time to declutter, establish what your base color palette is going to be, and then you can grow and expand from there. But it just really helps when putting pieces together, and it cuts down on the time that you have to think about item A going to match with item B. It just cuts all of that out if all my stuff is black. I'm just saying. Tip number 4 is pay attention to the details. It's all in the details, y'all. Details make the look, right? Small little tweaks here and there can take you from unpolished to polished. Details that I like to pay attention to is no wrinkles. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. No wrinkles. Iron your clothes. If ironing your clothes isn't your thing, Amazon has fantastic steamers. You can get one for 20 bucks, sometimes less. Steam your clothes. Nothing ruins a perfect outfit than for it to be wrinkled. That can take you from polished to unpolished real quick, y'all. That's like non-negotiable. You must iron your clothes. You have to steam your clothes so that it can look sharp and crisp and fresh. Like, that's like the biggest pet peeve. I cannot stand when people don't iron their clothes. I don't get it. That can take even the basic things to looking clean and polished. Like the other day, I wore just a basic like white Hanes Walmart t-shirt, and I took it out the white t-shirt bag, and of course it was all wrinkly. I put it on, I was like, nah, we can't do this. I ironed it, and it just felt different on my body. It fit different on my body, and it looked put together. So even for something like your basic tees, make sure you take the time to ensure that they are wrinkle free. I'm telling you, it's a small detail, but it's going to make the world of difference. Closely aligned to ironing your clothes. Make sure you're taking inventory, you know, are there any missing buttons on your shirt? Is that shirt worn out? Does it have holes and rips and, you know, strings pulling from place to place? Those are the type of details you want to pay attention to, because it's just going to elevate the look, right? So if something has a hole in it, it's probably time to retire it. If you don't want to retire it, get a sewing kit. They sell them at Walmart, the dollar store, whatever. Just make sure you pay attention to those things, because they can really break the look. And then similarly along those lines, pay attention to the fit. Okay, like if you go into a store and you really love a piece and it doesn't fit 100% how you want it to, I would say get it and take it to a tailor. You can take the most basic pieces, get them tailored, and they are just gonna look flawless on you because they are custom made to fit your body. So it's gonna look good. If something is too long, get it hemmed. If you need something taken in or let out, go ahead and do that. Tailors, generally you can find them, you know, at reasonable price ranges depending on where you are. I've had tailors do stuff for me for $5 up to $25 a piece, depending on what it is that I'm asking them to do. But I do think it's worth the investment to find a good tailor in your area, try them out with a couple of pieces, and really see how it can just change the entire outfit. Definitely invest in making sure that your clothes fit properly. And don't get caught up on like the numbers or the sizes or anything like that. Like I'm currently in a phase where I'm transitioning anywhere between a size 4 and a size 8 depending on the item. As long as it fits, I could care less what the number is. If a size 2 feels too tight, sis, go up to a size 4. It's okay. We'll live. It'll be fine. but a size 2 is going to look like it's too tight. Like, you could get away with the fit, you know, with like oversized pieces and stuff, but too small will never look good. It'll never be a good look. Ever, ever, ever. So just avoid it. If you're uncomfortable in something, you can't breathe in something, retire that item until you can get it let out, or take it back and go get a different size, because you're not even going to be able to enjoy your clothing if you are just trying to squeeze into every little thing. Pay attention to your fit. If things need to be tailored or altered to fit even just a little bit better to your liking, go ahead and spend the $5-10 at your local tailor to get that done. Another detail that you really want to pay attention to is your undergarments. These can also really make or break an outfit and really make or break your ability to look put together. So some seamless, you know, underwear. Amazon sells some pretty good ones. You can get them at Victoria's Secret. When it comes to my undergarments, I stick to neutrals. Black and tans only. I don't really experiment with much color, like, you know, lingerie, stuff like that. That's different. But in my day-to-day undergarments, I stick to black and tan because it works with everything. I don't even have to worry about having like my red panties showing through a white dress, because Lincy doesn't wear red panties for that reason. I don't want to think about anything. When I'm getting dressed, I want to look good without having to think as much as possible. So I have decluttered my undergarment drawer, and I've replaced it, actually just maybe about a month ago I did this, and replaced it with basic black underwear. Your shapewear, make sure it's neutral tone so that it can go with anything that you're wearing it with. Your bra. I tend to stick to things that are kind of flesh toned and kind of I don't know how to say this, but like not things that have too many designs or like things that pop up above the surface, if that makes any sense, because I don't want that to show through whatever material I'm wearing. So I tend to keep it just pretty clean when it comes to my undergarments. Of course, you can do what you want, but just make sure that whatever undergarment you're wearing works with the outfit. And then another thing in the details is to know what works for you in terms of your makeup. Now, y'all know me, I love the makeup, I love me a good beat, I love the Instagram makeup, all of that, but there's a time and place for everything, and in your day-to-day life, I am a believer that less is more. Find a balanced makeup routine that you can do every single day, again, kind of on autopilot without having to think about it. This right here is pretty much my everyday makeup, sometimes plus or minus the lashes. I can do this face in about 15 minutes. Doesn't take me much, but I don't throw on like a crazy glitter blue sparkly eye shadow to go to Target. I'm not doing that. If it's like a dinner or like a function or something special, then I will take the time to do that, but then my outfit has to coordinate with that. So this makeup look, I can literally throw on any outfit and still look polished, still look clean, and not, you know, be too loud with my makeup. I think that the makeup that we see on Instagram and stuff is beautiful. It's a great place to, or platform to display your artistry and your creative side. But in your day-to-day life, if you really want to look put together and polished, stick to the basics. Less is more. Be simple, keep it neutral, keep it balanced, right? So even if I were to do something a little different, if I were to do like a bolder eye, I wouldn't do like a red lip because that's just too much going on. So you want to keep your makeup balanced. I tend to stick to neutrals, but you can have fun with color too and still look put together. I'm not saying no color. I'm just saying don't overdo it. That's it. Don't overdo your part. Another detailed piece that you can pay attention to, add or take away, is jewelry. I like, you know, dainty jewelry. That could really change an outfit. I'm trying to step more into that, more into like hats and belts and accessories and stuff. Really trying to elevate my looks, but jewelry is a nice, simple way. It doesn't have to be expensive. Just find nice little jewelry that you can add on or take away. Even the basic like white tee and biker shorts can be elevated with a nice watch, a nice pair of earrings, a nice necklace, and really looks like you tried and all you did was throw on 3 extra things. So try and, you know, as you're building your wardrobe, add some more basics and add some more jewelry pieces so that you can kind of elevate without having to do too much. My last tip for looking put together is consistency is key. You must establish a personal grooming routine for yourself and stick to it. So your hair, your nails, your brows, your hair removal, your skincare, those things are not to be missed, okay? And I'm not saying you have to spend money on those things. Like, you can totally do them yourself and still look really, really good. I did that for a really long time, and I go back and forth between, I can do this myself, I'm gonna do it myself, and paying to get it done. I do think that you need to be intentional about it. I put all of those things in my budget monthly. So for me, I get my nails done at the beginning of the month. I tried last month. By the time y'all see this video, I tried last month to do it myself. It was too time consuming. I was getting frustrated. So I was over it. I'm like, I'm going back to the shop. So I get my nails done, at the beginning of the month. And then in the middle of the month is when I get like my wax, my brows done, and all of that stuff. And I generally, like my hair, I generally keep it in protective styles that last me 8 weeks or so. So I just plan my styles kind of 8 weeks in advance. Like, I have a sew-in now. My next style, I'm either thinking of getting a sew-in redone or getting some box braids. But I put that in my budget so that there is always funds to make sure that I present myself the way that I present myself. If it's not in your funds to put that in your budget, just take the time to learn to do stuff yourself. Like, when I was in high school, I was doing my own sew-ins, I was doing my own nails, plucking my own eyebrows, you know, shaving instead of going to get a wax. Do what's in your price point, but it is in your price point. I can guarantee you it's in your price point to have some type of consistent routine. Just make sure it's a routine that you can keep up with. Putting it in my budget for me also ensures that I follow through, because I check things off on my budget as I purchase them. And if something doesn't have a check mark, it lets me know I need to take care of it. I just think it's really important that you establish that routine for yourself. So if you prefer to rock sew-ins, if you prefer to rock your natural crown, if wigs are your thing, whatever it is, just make sure that there is allotted expense and or time for you to be able to do those things yourself, so that you always look put together and create a routine around them that is consistent, so that it becomes, you know, kind of on autopilot. The whole overarching theme of this video is to streamline your wardrobe, put in processes in place that kind of put things on autopilot, so you can just navigate, you know, showing up and looking your best without having to give it too much thought. So yeah, y'all, that's pretty much all that I have for today's video. My wine is almost done, so let's go ahead and knock that out. These are the things that work for me. Feel free to kind of piecemeal each tip and take away from it what you will, what you think you can implement, and let me know if this type of video was helpful for you. I'm definitely excited to do more Wind Down Wednesdays with y'all, but that's pretty much all that I have for today's video. If you have any additional tips that can help the community out, go ahead and leave them down below in the comment section. I only gave 5 in today's video, so I'd love to hear what you guys have to say and what tips have worked for you in order to always look your best. So if you have any topics for any upcoming Wind Down Wednesdays that you'd like me to discuss, go ahead and leave that down in the comment section, or feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. I would love to hear from you guys. I would love your insight as we continue to kind of develop this new series here on our channel. But until then, stay blessed and cheers.
Love is no one in a million. It goes on and on.